Now, let's move on to the further. Now, in the last class, I have shared you the data set along with the business problem, right? So, the business problem was given related to stroke prediction, okay? Stroke data, where the person is having the stroke, right? So, it is something related to healthcare. And we have given you the objectives also. What is the different objectives and what are the things you have to work? And also we have shared you the whether the person has got the stroke or not and what are the reasons behind the stroke problem or something, right? Now the point is here, before moving on to the further, just I want to confirm from you guys, how many of you have completed this hackathon, this particular project? How many of you have completed? Just could you raise your hand? Both offline and online, right? Done. More online students has completed than offline. Nice. Yeah, whoever has completed, overall completed. If you have completed partly or something like that, miss, don't raise your hand. Who has completed completely? Only those students, please raise the hand. Online students, click on the raise hand. Click on raise hand. Whoever the students has completed, click on the raise hand. Like Manish. One is Manish. Second one is Hitesh. And third one is Varshini. Still, others, everyone, could you click on the raise hand only? Don't remove that. Click on the raise hand. You are having the option to click on the raise hand. Click on that. Don't drop that one. Don't remove it. Others, other online students also, could you please confirm how many students has completed? Yeah, Manish, Varshini, and Niranjan. Still, don't drop. Don't remove your hand. Just keep like that only. Others, others. Okay, fine. Now, whoever has completed and whoever has shared, I think you have shared, right? Have you shared the answers? Done. Others, you have shared your answers, guys. Manish, have you shared your answers? Manish, have you shared your answers to me? And what about Varshni? Varshni, have you shared? Varshni, have you shared your answers? Yes. Niranjan, Niranjan, could you type on the chat box? Hitesh and Niranjan. Hitesh and Niranjan, have you shared your answers to me, to my mail? Yes or no? Niranjan, I'm waiting for your reply. Niranjan, Niranjan. Could you type in the chat box yes or no? Have you shared the answers? How many students have shared your answers? Click on the click on yes. I mean, type yes in the chat box. Students who have shared, type in the chat box yes. Okay, guys. Now, so in today's class, we are going to have the next one is related to presentation. As I told you earlier, the entire data steps, what are the data steps are there? All the data analytics steps will be included. I mean, the end-to-end project will be completed when you do the presentation. Without presentation, there is nothing to end-to-end. So here data analytics project, what are the data analytics project you have done? So here you have to do, first one is called as business problem understanding, data understanding, okay, followed by data exploration and data cleaning and data analysis. In the data analysis only, you are going to do the along with the data visualization. Automatically data analysis will include the data visualization. And finally, what are the things you have done? You are going to do the presentation. Now the point is, you have to do the now presentation has to be done in the today's class. Whoever the students has shared me, what are the observations from your perspective? From your perspective, what are you have done? Just share your data or what are the work you have done. Share the details with us right now. You have to do the presentation. Now, so here point number one, I mean question number one. Sir, I have done, whether it is right or wrong, I don't know. Whether I have done right or wrong, I don't know. That is the one I'm here to tell you. What is the mistakes you have done? I will tell you. I'm here to tell you where you have done the mistakes. Okay, I'm here to tell you your mistakes. Okay, question number two. Sir, my communications are not that much of good. Communication or presentation skills or whatever it is. Communications are not that much of good. Not a problem. Once you start practicing or something, automatically it will be developed. So you have to start somewhere. You have to practice, right? Without practicing, how you can say that, right? Next. Now, see, in this presentation, today, what are the presentation you are going to do? Okay, if you think that, sir, based on my presentation, you will get some kind of impression on me. Okay, what are the impression or something? Here, I'm going to say answer is nothing like that. See, first, the presentation you are doing for the first time. Now, when you do the first time presentation, obviously you are going to make some mistakes as a fresher level or something. Okay, you are going to have some mistakes with you. Now, I'm going to explain the mistakes. Now, I will explain for you what mistakes you have done. From my perspective, what are the mistakes you have done? I'm going to explain for you the mistakes. Explain the mistakes. Once I explain the mistakes, you have to take a note of the mistakes. And after taking a note of the mistakes, you have to rectify the mistakes. This point only important. You have to rectify the mistakes. Without rectifying, just you are okay. This mistake, okay, fine. This mistake, okay, fine. Just if you listen, again there will be no use. After listening to your mistakes, what are the mistakes you have done? You have to rectify the mistakes, all your mistakes, and you have to share one more time. Now see, every person doing the mistake is a common. Now, how many mistakes you do also not a problem, but how many mistakes you are rectifying yourself, that is more important. In the first exam, if you don't get 100 out of 100, we get 60 out of 100. It is not a wrong. But same question was given one more time in the exam. At that time also, if you are not answering that question, means that is considered as wrong. First time when you are writing the exam and you got 60 out of 100. Now you'll understand which questions you have done the wrong. Which questions you have done correct, which questions you have done wrong. Now, if a student, okay, what are the observation I have made and what is the common thing I have observed? If student got 60 out of 100, he will take the answer sheet. What are the answer sheet is there? He will take the answer sheet. They'll take the answer sheet, and in the answer sheet, okay, it will be written as 60 out of 100. Done. In that answer sheet, which questions he got the good marks, which questions good marks, and which questions 0 marks, which questions has got low marks, something like this. Some questions they'll get good marks, that is high marks. Some questions as low marks. Okay, they are going to observe this answer sheet with the eyes. Observation will be completed. Okay, done. Now you have understood where you got the low marks. In that exam, where you got the low marks. After getting the low marks in that particular paper, after that, have you checked the original answers or not? For the same questions, which you have got the low marks or wrong answers or something, have you checked correct answers or not? That is more important. Now, in the further, if one more time, same question paper was conducted, not a different one, same question paper as it is. Now, are you going to get 100 out of 100, or this time also again you will get the 60 out of 100? First time getting 60 out of 100 is not a problem. But have you rectified your mistakes? Have you checked the correct answers? Have you learned from that one? Learned. Have you learned something? This one is more important. Then after that, again, you are going to take the test 2. Again, you will get the some low marks. Maybe you may get 80 out of 100 with a different question paper. Again, you will make some mistakes, new mistakes. Old mistakes are rectified. Now again, new mistakes may come. Now again, you are going to prepare for one more time. Again, you are going to get this time 90. Like that, consistently improving the performance is more important. Okay. So doing the mistake is not a problem, guys. Every person will do, including me. I will also do some mistakes. Maybe, for example, in this class only, let us take. Some students will give the very high feedback. Some students will give the low feedback. Assume. It is not a wrong. Absolutely not a wrong. What is your personal opinion? You are going to share. Okay, you can share whatever you feel. I have to observe, right? For example, one of the student in this class has given me a low feedback. I have to ask that student why you have given. He is going to tell one reason. Sir, you are explaining something, sir, but it is not up to the mark, or I am not able to understand properly. Means I am not explaining clearly. That is a problem. According to that student, I am not explaining clearly. Now I have to rectify, right? By listening, what I will get? Okay, I have not explained now. Done. With this, what I will get? Nothing I will get. Than that, if I rectify my mistakes, now one day will come. Today, out of in this class, out of 100 students, I may satisfy in terms of 30 students or 40 students, or let's take 70 students. I have satisfied. I satisfied 70 students. Means the meaning is remaining 30 students I have not satisfied, right? 70 students satisfied means what is the meaning of this? 30 students not satisfied. 30 out of 100 not satisfied. Now I have to identify what is the problem I have done, where I have done the mistake, why these 30 students are not satisfied. Now, instead of thinking how to these 30 students, how to take the revenge on them, how to scold them, how to say this one. Instead of that, now if I understand my mistake, what is a mistake I have made according to these 30 students, what is a mistake I made, and if I rectify, now what happens next time, at least 80 out of 100 in the next batch, not in the same batch, maybe in the next batch, 80 out of 100 I may satisfy. Now again new problems may come, remaining 20 people are not satisfied, right? Still again I may get a new mistakes. That 20 students has observed another mistakes. They may not observe the old mistakes, they have observed new mistakes. Again I'm going to get the some new mistakes, and that mistakes once again I rectify. Now somewhere in one batch will come, right? Somewhere after this 100 out of 100 all the students will be satisfied. Now when all the students, most of the students are not exactly 100 out of 100, maybe 95% of the people are getting satisfied, means automatically who is going to get benefited? Means me only, right? Automatically the demand for me will be started in the Naresh IT. Remaining students who are in this batch, obviously they'll say about me to other students. They'll discuss either in the lab or outside or somewhere they'll discuss. When they discuss and they say about the positives about me, and automatically demand of me is increased, who is going to get benefited at the end? Me only. And how it is going to get benefited and how I'm going to develop myself means by rectifying my mistakes. To rectify my mistakes, what first I should know? What are my mistakes? So here the point is very simple. Business has to be developed. Business, I have to increase my business or my demand. My business is nothing but my demand in the Naresh IT. It has to increase means very simple what? More feedback. I require the more amount of good feedback from the students. Not by scolding them or not by saying them or not by begging them also. Please give the good feedback for me so that I will get the good number of students in the future. Not by begging also. I have to do my work. They will do their work. Whatever happens, happens. Simple. Did I discuss any time about the feedback in the class? Never. I will do that one. In the future also, I will never do. What are the feedback you have given? It is not required for me. Because from my perspective, automatically it has to be a good feedback only. If negative feedback any students tells only, I will highlight that one. And I'm interested in the negative feedbacks more than positives. If someone comes to me and they're praising me, miss, it is going to be a minus point for me. If someone highlights my negatives, means initially I may get serious internally. My inner feeling says that something. I may get initially bad opinion on other person who is saying about to me about the negatives, but 100% that particular person only is going to help my career. Like that in my career, so many people have supported in giving the negative things about me. SRK, you are not doing this one. From there onwards, I have started. Okay. So here to improve the business, what I required? Good feedback. I required the good feedback means first I should know what are my negatives are there. First I should know the negatives, and these negatives I have to rectify. So similarly, you have to do the presentation. Whenever there is an option to do the presentation, don't hesitate to do the presentation. And don't think that, sir, I may do some mistakes, sir. You may not like, sir. Maybe first time. Now I say that, okay, I'm not interested. What you are feeling? See, I have done so much of work, but SRK sir has told that it is not good. Okay. Now your target should be how to get the good score from the SRK. Obviously. Now for whom you are doing all these things? For me, yeah. No, right? At the end, your sake only now. Tomorrow in the company to get the better salary or better career opportunity in a good companies. So here what you have to do? Presentation. While presentation, what you have to keep in the mind? If you do the mistakes also, it's not a wrong one. But after once I tell you the mistakes, once I explain the mistakes, you have to rectify this one. If you don't do this one only, it is wrong. Okay? Doing this one is wrong. If you don't do this, then it is wrong. This is not wrong. Okay? As of now, you have done some mistakes, miss. Don't worry. If you get out of 100 after your presentation, if I say your score is 25 out of 100 also, don't need to worry. Because our requirement is how to improve the score. Today, sir told 25. Tomorrow, sir only has to tell 100 out of 100. How? How to get that? Some additional work we have to do. And that additional work will reshape your career so much. Believe me. That will help you 100%. It will help you. When you start rectifying your mistake, you will see your career change so much. This is more important. Don't worry on this. Many students worry on this. You have to worry this one. Okay? Is the point is clear? Now, I want the students who has done, they have to come and present. So, you have done, right? So, please share your, yesterday you have sent me that solutions. Send that solutions to now to srk.nareshit@gmail.com. I'm asking the offline student, not others. Only one student I asked to share. Only he is going to share to this. Yesterday, what are the things you have shared to me? Please share once again to this mail ID. And now you are going to do the presentation. Right? Done. Please share your Jupyter notebook and along with the Power BI file. Everything. Whatever you have shared yesterday to me, same thing. Just click on the forward. srk.nareshit@gmail.com. Shared? Yeah, just a minute. This is your Jupyter notebook. Okay. Now, so please start your presentation. And while presentation, remember one point, explain clearly, neatly the business problem, assuming I don't know anything. I don't know the business problem. I also don't know what is the data set I have shared. I only don't know. You have to explain for me the neatly the business problem, data understanding clearly, that is each and every column name, data exploration, what you have observed, and what is the data cleaning you have done, and data analysis. At the end, I'm going to share you. I will listen to your entire things. Whatever you have discussed with me, I'll share. I will listen to each and every point. At the end, I'll share you the feedback. Okay. Maximum try to explain to a unknown person, assuming the other person don't know anything. Okay. Try to go with in that way. Done. Please come. Sit here.
Hello, online students, my voice is clear or not? Then today I am going to explain my project. The project title is Stroke Risk Prediction Analysis. I want to know the I want to know the analysis about the stroke predictions. So, I have given data. Data name is stroke. How many workers? How many patients? Sorry, how many patients have high risk strokes and low risk strokes? On the basis of many demographic reports, just like all columns. So first we will try to understand the business problem from this data set. Business problem understanding is that my predictions of this data from how patients will high risk or low risk. Okay. And understand the risk factor patients across the different groups. I want to know the different columns. From the on the basis of the columns, we analyze the patients will high risk or low risk. First we collect the data set and load, and then we know the how many columns. So I will use the df dot columns. Okay. No, okay. Output. Okay. Here 12 columns and 43,400 rows. In many columns: ID, gender, age, hypertension, heart disease, ever married, and work award and residence types, average glucose level, BMI. On the basis of this whole column, I want to know that a patients will get high risk or low risk. First, we will analyze the whole data sets, how many null values are present in there. So in BMI column and smoking status, BMI column 1462 null values and smoking status 13,292. So in BMI column, I want to know the how percentage the data is null value or not null. So here only 1.3% data in BMI column is null value. So according to this, I will change the best measure median and replace FILNA with BMI median of this columns. Next, smoking status. In smoking status, approx 30% data is null value. So I will change this unknown. All null value change this unknown. We will replace this data into unknown, because from this column some persons do not want to expose this smoking status in scenario. No need to edit this column. So now we will categorize the data, whether my data sets columns, categorical variables, count variables, continuous variables, and time series variables. Here time series variable is not present. So I will categorize the data into the categorical variables. First one, gender. Second one, ever married, work types, residence, smoke status. And next, count variable, hypertension, heart disease, and strokes. Next, continuous age, glucose level, and BMI. Now we will work on these data sets First, categorical variables. This is a univariant, but from the for loop, we will save the time, and we will use here for loop to know that all unique value in this data sets. Here, gender, three types of unique value in gender column. First one males, second female, and third one others. Here a word, married, I mean married, the persons who no, I mean not married, yes, married. Two types of unique value here. Work type, many work types, just like children's, private and not worked, self-employed, and government jobs. Residence types, rural and urban. Smoking status, unknown, never smoked, formerly smoked, and smokes. There are many unique value in this column. Now we want to know the data types of these columns. The data types is okay, no need to modify this. Now we want to know the all categorical variables, how many uh, female and males, just like ever married. I mean, I want to know the number of unique values in present in my columns. First one, female and males. I in gender columns, here maximum numbers of female present there. Next, from this ever married, here married persons are more than unmarried persons. Work type, here private sectors employees are more than others. Residence types, urban and rural, almost these are same. Smoking status, here unknown persons are no, sorry, never smoked persons are more other than. Analysis of this categorical data, female are more, I have already explained this. Now we want to know the how many types of value counts, I mean numbers of value in the all count variables. Count variables 0, I mean negative point of view, or plus 1, I mean positive point of views. I mean hypertensions, the persons who have hypertensions whose presentation here 1, and the persons who has not hypertension whose presentation by 0. From these columns we know many persons they have not affected by the hypertensions. Heart disease, in this column also many persons are not affected by heart disease. And strokes, in this column also not more than persons are not affected. I mean there is no need to notice here not affected persons. From this column only univariant, this is not a connections of other columns. Hypertension, this is the analysis of this column. Now I want to know the unique value. I have already mentioned this. df dot describes, continuous describes. From this describe column I want to know the all persons age, group, or glucose level, and BMI. I want to know that that types of persons has a high risk of stroke or low risk of stroke in all continuous variables. Age, from this age columns, here I want to explain 42 years, approx 42 years persons are the average age of this column. Here 60 years age persons are 75, less than 75%, 44 years less than 50%, and 24 years less than 25%. In glucose level, average glucose levels of the persons 104, approx 104, which is good, because I know the average glucose level from 100 to 120 is best for any persons. Below the 100 and above the 120, this is risky. And BMI, I know the BMI index number, whose BMI index number is more than 25, so it is overweight. it is also a deciding factor. I mean risk. Below the 15%, it is also a risk, underweight. I want to know the outlier in the continuous variables with the help of box plot. But here age column, there is no outliers. Average glucose level and BMI level, there is outliers. I want to know the how many outliers present in these columns. Only two BMI columns, only 2.5% outliers. So I will not remove it, and there is no need to modify this. So keep it as it is. In average glucose levels, also no need to modify, only 12.5% outliers present in this. So keep it as it is. Now we will analyze the bivariant or multivariant columns. First, we have to know how many genders are affected or not affected in the strokes. First question is that how many genders are affected or not affected by strokes, and which types of gender is maximum or minimum affected by strokes. Then we observations. Here this is the stroke, I mean 0 and 1. 0, I mean there is no stroke, less probability to be strokes. 1, I mean the person who affected by strokes. Here gender, female, male, and others, 3 types of unique values. Others, it is very less value, so it is negligible. Male and females, I mean 2, 5, 2, 3 persons females has no strokes. 4, 3, 1 only strokes. Male 3, 5, 2 only have strokes. So there is a less numbers out of these. So there is no meaning of this column. I will visualize this from the bar plot. Here we use the unstacked bar plot. From this graph, I will try to show this. Male, female, I mean 0, no, not affected, 1 affected. I mean this is all. Overall female and male not affected, similar to each others. So there is no meaning of this column. Now I want to calculate the average per person per age groups. I mean how many age types of persons average strokes affected to strokes. The persons who average age is approx 42 and below 42, it is less risk to strokes. I mean the persons 168, I mean the person whose age is above 68, this is the high risk of strokes. Here doctors, patients have to mention, notice that, I mean old age persons have high risk to stroke. This is the graph. Now I want to know how many hypertension affected persons to be affected by strokes. I mean hypertension column, how much affect the strokes column. So here only this is hypertension and this one strokes. Only 200 persons commons which have both hypertension and strokes. So there is no need of these columns, because many persons are that the persons which have 38,075 persons has hypertension, no hypertension, and no strokes. So this is not so affect. So maximum number of people are not affected by both column. There is a graph of this visualizations of this plot with the help of bar plot on a stacked chart. Now I want to know the relation between the hypertension and strokes. There is no relation, but I want to show the in another way with the help of correlation. No relation between strokes, because you know this heat map. I mean, this is similar, approximately equals to 0.075. I mean, zero correlation. There is no relation between both strokes and hypertension column. Now, how many people are affected by the strokes and hypertension? This is the same. Here, 177 persons only. The persons, they have both heart disease and strokes. So there is a no highly affected. This is also from the heat map 0.011. And how many married peoples have strokes? Probabilities. I want to know this with the help of cross tabs. So here 703 peoples only, the married peoples have only strokes. My data sets has 43, approx 43,000 persons. In 703, there is no need to check this. By the bar plot, I will show this. This is similar. 0, 1, 0, I mean no person affected, 1, I mean affected. This one. Next. I will show this with the help of percentage. Here 2.5% persons, only married persons are affected by the strokes. So there is very less risk to be strokes for the married persons. Which types of worker have more or less risk of strokes? I want to know that from this column. Which types of worker have chances to strokes? Here many types of workers: government job, never work, private, self-employed, children. I mean all types of workers. Government jobs, there is less probability to chance a stroke. Never worked, also less. Private, also less. But out of these, private and self-employed have a high risk as compared to other workers. So here we have to mention on these columns private and self-employed. And notice this. Which types of residential area have more or less risk of strokes? I want to know from this column which types of residential area has low risk or high risk to become to be a strokes. First one, rural, urban. Two types of areas, rural or urban. I mean 384 persons are affected in rural, urban 399 approx. This is same. There is no meaning of this column. This is the graphical representation of this column. Which average glucose level has more risk or more risk of strokes? I want to know which persons whose glucose level, average glucose level is high or low, and I want to know the persons whose glucose level is what, and on the basis of glucose level I want to know the persons have affected by a stroke or not. So here average glucose level, the person whose average glucose level is 104 is not affected. I know the glucose level 100 to 120, it is better. Here this column also show 104. I mean the person whose glucose level has 104 not affected. I mean low risk, very low risk to affected by the stroke. And the person whose glucose level is more than 129 and more than this high risk to affected the strokes. This is the graphical representation from the heat map and bar graph. Now, which types of BMI persons have the less risk or high risk? I want to know the person whose BMI, average BMI is what, and the persons who affected by strokes or not. I mean the person whose BMI here on the basis of this column, I mean the persons whose BMI is 28.55, I mean approx 28, not affected, I mean less risk. I mean the persons whose BMI index from 29 and above are highly risk to stroke. This is also a graphical representation with the help of correlation, which is very less bar plots. Now, which types of smokers have more or less risk of strokes? I want to know from this bivariant analysis, which types of persons, smoking persons, have high risk or low risk. Here, smoking persons unique values, I mean formerly smoked, never smoked, smoked, and unknown. Formerly smoked here more maximum, less risk. I mean never smoked. From the analysis of this column, 284 persons are never smoked, who has a risk to be strokes. Less risk smoke unknown and I never smoked. Graphical representation of this completed. Here I want to I am going to explain the Power BI dashboards with the help of given questions. First question is stroke risk by demographics. Demographics, with the help of columns, we have to analyze the how many males, females have a stroke risk or not. First, we use the bar plot male. I am going to show you the never smoked persons. This is the graph. Male 5.5k persons. Here females, never smoked persons, females more than males. And smoked persons, also females more. Count of BMI and count of hypertensions. This dashboard show how many persons whose BMI count, hypertensions, and male and female on the basis of smoking, no smoking, and formerly smoking. This will change. Unknown persons count BMI whose 13,292 persons whose BMI index unknown, and hypertension also same. Male this person and female 7.3k. Okay, second slide. In second slide, we have to analyze with the help of KPI charts indicates the early intervention. I mean, I have analyzed in Pythons. Those data have to shown in the dashboard. Here 67.77 male which are not affected by the strokes, and female, I want to know the female percentage. 68.48% females, and this show the sum of hypertension, and this donut chart show the, it is not clearly visible, some of the hypertensions. And 34.91%, this show the percentage KPI, so the percentage of the persons who doesn't affected by the strokes. Next, stroke risk demographics. It will show the with the help of age and average BMI. It is not clear, sir. Next. Patient segmentation dashboards. From these dashboards, I want to know how many patients have male and females, which count by the genders. Only count by the genders. 17 point somethings have male, and 25.7K females. Work type and lifestyle. I want to know this dashboards, work type and lifestyles. Here, private sectors, self-employers, children, completed. High risk patient alert dashboards. Here female, I mean 0. Count of age to 25,234 male, and whose BMI is some here. These persons are not affected by the strokes. 0, I mean, sorry, 1, I mean the persons who affected by strokes, female, whose BMI is here visible. Okay.
Okay. On assurance, could you please confirm? Is my voice is clear? Okay. So now, as one of the student has highlighted the what are the things he has observed and what are the points he has done and everything. Okay. Now, just I'm going to tell you the minus points. What are the minus points? Okay. So as I've told you, I'll highlight the mistakes. So remaining things are good points only. Other than this, remaining obviously will comes under good points. These are considered as mistakes or minus points. And at the end, I will give the overall score. From my end, what is the overall score for the total work, whatever was made by the total work. Now, first mistake number 1. Student has not facing the audience. He is not even seeing the one person also. Simply he is seeing the laptop screen and he is giving the answers. What others are doing, he is not bothering on that. Okay. He is assuming that it is a completely online and he is not even facing one of the student also. That is first one. Second one, he explained the business problem, but he had not explained the data understanding. Means what is the meaning of each and every column? Okay, just you have shown the column, these are the column names, and directly you went into the data exploration, but you have not explained the clearly. Now, okay, not explained your data understanding, not explained. So here in this case, what you have to do actually is, first you have to explain the business problem. So just we are going to observe the people who are getting the stroke and what are the possibilities to get the stroke. So that is the business problem. Now here once you have loaded the data and these are the column names and total 43,400 records are there. What is the meaning of hypertension? What is heart disease? Ever married? Work type? You have not mentioned anything. At the same time, you have not explained none of them. At the same time, you have not even done any kind of data exploration. Not done and not explained the data exploration. Means what are the unique values are there. Without explaining the this one, directly you went into df.eisnull.sum and you have cleaned the BMI. So first step is you have to explain here, then you have taken this one and now you started explaining the what are the unique values. First you have done the data cleaning, followed by later you have shown this one. Now in this, how you know these are comes under categorical variable before only. First you have to observe the unique values, later you have to decide it is a categorical. Without observing the unique values, what is there inside the gender, you don't know before itself. Later you have done, then how you decided it is a categorical variable. Okay, and this is the not done, at the same time not explain the data exploration. Without explaining, he has went away to the next point. Next, he when he has done the data exploration, he'll observe that heart disease. Now what are the heart disease? Hypertension, stroke. He told these three things are called as count variables, which is a big blunder. They are not considered as count variable. They are categorical variables. Basically, what is meant by count means number of. Here, how it is going to be count? Count variable means what is the meaning of count? Number of. How many number of? Here you are having the hypertension 0 and 1. You told that stroke, what is meant by 0? Means no stroke. 1 means the person affected with the stroke. You only told that. Right? So here it is yes and no, or affected, not affected, having, not having, like this. So these three of them considered as categorical variable. They are not called as count variables. So here in the given data set, it was already given with the numerical data zeros and ones. When I told that zeros and ones are given for categorical data, it has to be replaced with S and Nos. Without replacing with S and Nos, we should not move on to the further. Always 0 has to be replaced with the 0 should be replaced with no, and 1 has to be replaced with yes. You have not done this replacement. Wherever you are showing the plot, you are showing zeros and ones. In the cross tab also you are showing zeros, 1, but you are explaining with the mouth. You are explaining. What you are explaining means these are affected with the stroke, these are not affected, but that has to be replaced basically. First, they are not comes under count variable, they are categorical variable. And this is big mistake. not normal mistake also, big blunder. And remaining 3 of them are continuous. But these categorical variables and these are continuous variables, you are going to decide after observing the unique values inside that. Now you have done the data exploration here. You are doing the data exploration, but this data exploration has to be done before and after doing the data exploration, after observing, then you decide that what are the column names. Later you have to do the data cleaning. But you have done the before cleaning, after this one, which is absolutely wrong. Okay, and these are also wrong. Here it is not a count variable, it is also discrete variable only, which was given in the numerical format. And you told that what is hypertension 0 means not having the hypertension, means no BP. 1 means having the BP. Yes. Heart disease, no, and this is yes. Stroke, no, and this is yes. These 3 of them you have to do basically replacement. When they have given like this, we have to do the replacement, which you have not done. And this is one more big mistake. Never we have to apply on the categorical variable like this. This is also a mistake. Now, coming to this. Okay, here while explaining, you have explained this one, gender. Now, total number of stroke people only to 783. Within the 783, 431 people are females who got the stroke problem. Here, when you write here, yes, sir. So, the people who has got overall stroke problem only 783. In that 783 people, how many of them are having with respect to gender wise? 431 females, 352 males. There is no difference. Means stroke can come irrespective of gender. Whether you are a male, whether you are a female. So there is no relation. Okay, this point is correct. Okay, which is very less, no meaning you told. But it is not which is lesser. Out of 783, you are comparing everything with 43,400 you are comparing. You should not compare these two values with 43,400. These two values should be compared with the 783. So here 431 divided by 783, 352 divided by 783. Then you will get the people who has got affected with the stroke, in that what is the percentage of females and what is the percentage of males. Point is clear? When you have divided with 43,400, every number will be the small number only. In this example, there is no impact with the male and female. There is no difference. But what are the sentence you have written is a wrong sentence. But meaning is same. Okay, there is no difference in the gender. Means a person may be female, may be male, he may get the stroke problem in the further. Okay, any person can get the stroke. Now, what is the average age of stroke? People having the stroke problem. If you write here yes, then it will be correct. Here zeros and ones only you have kept as is. The people who are having the average age of stroke problem is 68 years. So, when you are crossing more the age, there is a high probability you get the stroke problem. Okay, and that is the observation we have to present. Next, here you told that hypertension 200 people has affected with the both of them, but this point is not that. Total 783. Out of 783 people, the people who are not having the hypertension, they got the stroke problem as 583. The people who are having the stroke problem, hypertension, they got the 200. Means the people who are getting the stroke problem, they may not have the hypertension. Without having the BP also, directly you may get the paralysis stroke. Brain stroke problem you can get irrespective of hypertension. It is not compulsory to get the BP first. For example, if more number of BP patients are there, then we are going to say that BP. Here 200 people are affected by both. Maximum number of people are not affected by the both you told. Means you are highlighting this number. Your focus is on here, but your focus should not be here. That complete analysis whatever you have made is mostly wrong. Because what are the crosstabs you are trying to show? What are the things you are trying to show? In the entire analysis, your major focus is here. with respect to 43,000, or you are observing in terms of overall all the values. So here you are showing in the cross tab multiple values you are showing, and in this big numbers you are highlighting. No, this is wrong. Only this particular column we have to see. The people who are getting the stroke, in that how many people are having the BP, how many of not having the BP. Okay, you are highlighting this one, which should not be done. Okay, so here the people, now from this, what is the observation you are going to make? Means codes are correct, but all the observations are wrong. Okay, from this what you are observed is in terms of the people who are not having no hypertension, when you replace with no and when you replace this one with yes, the people who are not having the hypertension, how many people are getting the stroke? Means 583 out of 783 people. So the people who has received the stroke, in that more number of people without having any kind of BP, directly they are getting the stroke problem. Okay, it is not compulsory to get the BP first or hypertension first. Next, here you applied the correlation between the hypertension versus stroke, which is absolutely wrong, because we cannot apply the correlation between two discrete variables. According to you, okay, according to you, at least hypertension you have considered as a count variable. Count means discrete only, right? This is a discrete and this is also a discrete. How you can apply correlation between two discrete variables? It is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because correlation formula is x minus x bar into y minus y bar. Bar is there means only it is continuous. In the correlation formula only, discrete variable we cannot apply. It is applied only on the continuous variable. So the correlation matrix cannot be applied on the two discrete variables. Sir, I want to show between two discrete variables any relation is there or not. Then what to do? Means chi-square test you have to apply. In that case, what you have to do? Chi-square test. In the chi-square test, the null hypothesis says that no relation between them. Alternate hypothesis says that there is relation, some relation between them. So two discrete variables, this is discrete and this is also discrete. So when you are having the two discrete variables, you can apply the chi-square test. And if the chi-square test gives the p-value greater than 0.05, p-high, null fly. What is the meaning? No relation. If the p-value is less than 0.05, there is a relation between them. In that way, we are going to conclude. So this correlation can't be applied. Correlation can't be applied on two discretes. Whether it is count or categorical, to discrete only we can't apply. It should be applied only on continuous. This is one more mistake. Not minute mistakes. These are big mistakes. Whatever you have done. Okay. Now, next, automatically that matrix only wrong means heat map is also wrong. Now, here, when it comes to this one, you told that there is no much impact. Nothing is there, nothing is important or something like this. But here, out of 783 people who has got the stroke, most of the people without having any kind of heart disease. Heart disease is no, but stroke is yes. So out of 783 people who has got the brain stroke problem, in that many people doesn't get the heart disease also. Means in the reality, a person, what is the possibility he get in the future stroke problem means without having any kind of heart disease or without having any kind of BP, hypertension, directly he may get the stroke problem. First only directly he can get. It is not compulsory. First he has to be affected with BP followed by stroke. Is the point is clear? And which you have not highlighted in that way. You have told in a different way. It is also wrong and this is also wrong. So to be more simplified your entire analysis, here you told that married is not having an impact. But the people who has got 783 stroke problem, most of the people are from married. If you write here this one, yes, properly if you have written, you have understood in a clear way. The people who has got the married, so this is the people no married, no stroke. How many people? No married, no stroke. 15,000 people, no married, no stroke. No married, how many people has got the stroke? 80. No married with no stroke, 27,000 people has married with no stroke. Now married people stroke. So total 783 people who has got stroke. In that, many people has got married. Right? So at the same time, the people, you are not going to say in the same way. At the same time, the people who get the married, every person will get the stroke means no. 27,938 people has got married. But how many people has got the stroke problem? 27,235 people only has got the stroke problem. Even you compare this number to this number, the people who has got total married is 27,938 married. Out of married people, how many got stroke problem? 27,235 people no having any kind of stroke problem. 703 people has got stroke problem. Means from this, are we going to conclude the people who will get the married, every person will get the stroke problem? Is no. Percentage is less only. But the people who has got the stroke problem, when you compare within this, out of 783, 703, the people who has got the stroke problem point of view, if you see, and those people, most of the people has got married. So married tensions will be there. So after married, what we are going to say is, after married, there should not be any kind of tensions. With the tensions, unnecessarily it leads to the directly stroke problem without giving any heart stroke or without giving the hypertension. That is a point which we are going to highlight. And next, you have taken the average of the stroke. For discrete variable, how you can apply average? Why you got this average number? You have got reason behind this is, at least you have kept the stroke in the number only. If you have replaced that one S and O's, here you have got the error. First stroke has to be replaced with the S and O's, which you have not done. Right? Next, work type. The people who has got the stroke problem in this, many people are from private. So now from this, all these things, what we are going to conclude means, the people out of 783 people who has got the stroke in this first point, without BP, directly they are getting. Without any heart stroke, they are getting into the stroke problems, brain stroke problems. And the people who has got married, many people has got married, and that too they are working in the private companies. So the people who are working in the private companies with married, their stress levels are going to be more, and those people, they are going to get the high possibility of stroke problem. Now what is the suggestion we are going to give from this? Means the people who has got married and working in the private companies, your work pressure or tension should be comparatively less. Don't think that if you say that no, I'm not even having the BP, means without BP directly you may get the paralysis stroke directly. The people who are working in the private companies along with the married, so your stress level should be comparatively less. Otherwise, there is a high possibility of stroke. Now here, the people who has got the stroke from the rural and urban, almost same. There is no difference. If the person stays in the rural area or if the person stays in the urban area, where he is staying is not important. Right? So that is the one. At the same time, average glucose level. So the people who are having the average glucose level means it is not dependent on your sugar levels also. It is not dependent on sugar levels. It is not dependent on the previous heart stroke. It is not dependent on the, with respect to hypertensions. It is not dependent on age. It is not dependent on the area. What it is dependent? Married. And what it is dependent means work type. These are the major two things it is getting dependent. Right? That is the important observation which we are making from this data set. Is the points are clear, guys? Everyone? And have you shared me, okay? Have you shared me this data in terms of code, or have you shared me the PDF to my mail? I want the Jupyter notebook also. Share me the Jupyter notebook after the class. Right? Now, so like this, people who has got the stroke problem. So here the business problem, if you go to back first, his page number 1, he told clearly that the people who are having the stroke problem based on the other characteristics. Now, tell me guys, whether the stroke problem is dependent on gender? No, because we have observed in the males and females, both are having the similar kind of stroke problem. What is the average age of both of them is lesser the age, no stroke problem, higher the age. Means average age of people who are having the stroke problem is 68. Means higher the age, higher risk of stroke problem is there. Next, whether the person is dependent on the hypertension means no. The people who has got the stroke, in that majority of the people without having any kind of hypertension, directly they got the stroke problem. Whether it is dependent on the heart disease, again no. Whether it depends on the ever married means yes. Whether it depends on the work type means yes. Whether it depends on the residence means no. Like this we are going to conclude at the end. That is a conclusion which we are going to give. So stroke problem is majorly dependent on the average glucose level. It is the people who are having the average glucose level with the stroke problem, without stroke problem, almost same. And slight there is an increase, and that one only we are going to highlight. And BMI and smoking status. So each column, he has done the analysis correctly only. He has made the gender versus stroke he has added, that is cross tab he has added. Age versus stroke he has added, correctly grouped by. Hypertension versus stroke he has added, cross tab. Heart disease versus stroke he has added, cross tab. Ever married versus stroke also he has added, but analysis was done in a wrong way. Course was applied correctly, but observation was done in a wrong way. Because observations, all the observations he has done, out of 43,400 he has observed. It is not with respect to 43,400. We have to observe out of 783 people who has got the stroke problem. If you go to the hospital and if you have observed multiple people who are having with respect to heart problem. Now, are we going to understand that, okay, what are the things if you do, we'll get in the future heart problem, or we'll see in India totally how many heart patients are there? Once we understand the, okay, like this if you do miss, you are going to get in the future heart problem. That we are going to observe, not with respect to overall. So your analysis has to be done with the 783. Within the 783 people who has got earlier the stroke problems, that one. At the same time, you cannot say that every person who is working in the private will get the stroke problem. But the people who are getting the stroke problem are working in the private. Both are different. Okay. All private employees are getting the stroke problem is no. All private employees get stroke problem means no. But majority people of stroke problem are from private employees. Majority, or there is a high probability. You are already married, that too you are working in the IT, private, in the private company you are working means there is a high probability. That private means not in terms of only IT. Private can be anything, but private job. Private job means some stress levels will be there more. Government means comparatively the stress levels will be comparatively less. I'm not saying completely zero. Compared to private, it is going to be less. Their work will be. Is the points are clear? And like this, we have to do the analysis. What is the mistakes you have done? It is clear now. Now you have to do one more time. And next, what are the Power BI you have done, right? It is not Good, it is not correct. Because wherever you applied, everything, first major mistake, what is the major to major mistake you have done is, you have not replaced the count, that zeros and ones with yes and no's. If you have modified that one, you may get the ideas in a different way. First step only you have made that one is wrong. And second major step where you have went the wrong means, first I ask it to observe, do the data exploration, later decide the columns comes under which category. But what you have done is, first cleaning you have done, later you made a list and followed by observation. In a reverse order completely you have done. First you have to observe the unique values. What are the unique values are there? So if you open the notes, I ask it to write the notes in the starting. In the PPT, what are the steps I have given? I ask it to write in the last pages. If you have opened, first I told you to write the unique values. After unique values, then list of column names. Then you make the list of columns. After making the list of columns, then you have to do the later data cleaning. But what you have done? First data cleaning, followed by list of columns, followed by unique values. Completely reverse order you have applied, which is completely wrong. To some extent, your analysis is good. Only the Python course, if I have to consider, correctly you applied the every column to stroke. That correctly you have applied. But your observations are wrong. Your cleaning is wrong. Your data exploration is wrong. Everything is wrong. So overall, if I have to consider your marks, I'm going to give your marks out of 100, 15 out of 100. This is your score based on your presentation. I'm removing your presentation. Presentation is okay. Only one mistake in your presentation is you are not even facing. And obviously, internal content is wrong means you are speaking also everything is wrong only, right? Whatever you have written, you are speaking. You are written only wrong. Obviously, speaking is everything is wrong. So no need to worry. Now understand the scenario. Again, redo. Same work. Now you show your capability now. Again, tomorrow by the same time, 7:30. Now your score is 15 now. Now you have to prove yourself, sir. Now I have done everything, and you have to how to get this time 85 out of 100. Means 85 marks is less. Now you are going to get 50 marks as less and 85 score. How to get that much suddenly? A drastic change you have to show me in the tomorrow. So you have to work in that way. Is the points are clear, guys? Now others, online students, have you done? And that too you have applied only bivariate, but no multivariate also there. In your entire analysis, there is no multivariate. In the cross tab, you have considered only two discrete variables. Why only two? You can even add the 3 also, 4 also. And you can create even a matrix in the Power BI also. You have created only tables. Why you have not created the matrices? You have to do the multivariate. You have missed the multivariate even. And your analysis, you have shown everything in the Python. But I asked you to do the analysis in the Power BI. You have done in the Python, basically. That one also you have to modify. Right? Done. Yeah, online students, anyone has done? Anyone wants to do the presentation? Clear, guys? Whatever we have discussed is clear. And we'll continue from here in the tomorrow's class. Okay? Try to do everything and try to follow the step-by-step order. Don't modify as per your choice. First, modify the steps. Clearly do as per the steps. We will continue in the tomorrow's class. Done. Yeah, Gagan Soni. Yeah, if it is possible, you can do. If it is not possible, you can take the time and you can do. Not a problem. Please take the time and do. Doing sincerely and learning the content is more important. Okay, done. Thank you, guys. You can leave. If no questions, you can leave. How to make presentation in up? Thank you for explaining this projects. Yeah, please. Done. Perfect. Thank you for explaining these projects. Done. Manish. I will do again tomorrow, sir. Done. Manish and Swapna. Right.